Great morning, great morning, great morning, Reggie on the beat.
Great morning, Miss
Can
Amanda.
you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly
I
well.
cannot hear you.
Okay, well, hold on real quick.
All right. Nope, still can't.
You can. I know you can hear me now. It's quiet.
I know I can hear myself, but I can't hear you, but that's okay. You know what? I'm so glad to be here. And the guest before us, there it is. The guest before us, it was just amazing. What did you think about Culture Lancer?
I think it was very informational, especially for my people that's in HBCUs or
Mm,
people that's deciding what they want to do with life, what they want to do, and
exactly.
for them to have the resources and they help them. It's so awesome.
Yeah.
Without the source.
Without the sauce. And very empowering. I think they're doing a great thing. The HBCU in the park sounds like it's going to be a really good event. I can't wait to talk about this next guest that I have in the studio with us today. I wish the camera could go to her shoes because, God dog it, that was the first thing I noticed when you got up in here. You hear me? Like it was. You look. Hey, I ain't mad at you.
I got it. I
you
got
you
it.
came in the studio high stepping today.
Hey, Amanda, I'm all about having a good time, having fun, bringing change.
Yes,
And that's what we're here for, just to enlighten the community and enlighten the world about
exactly.
what we're about to talk about. So that's
Exactly.
what we are. Hey, I'm
Okay,
ready.
I'm ready too. And you know what? Again, thank you for being here. Thank you for taking time out of your day. If you don't
Absolutely.
mind, I'd like to share a little bit about who you are with our listening audience. Is that okay?
Absolutely.
All right. She's a devoted mother, advocate, and triathlete who began her journey supporting special needs children after her daughter's cerebral palsy diagnosis. Over 30 years, she's pioneered programs for special education, foster care, and caregiver support, while also achieving notable accomplishments as a triathlete representing Team USA. In 2024, she founded 241 Runners Awareness to create a database enhancing tracking for at-risk individuals inspired by the tragic loss of her son, Israel. Please welcome into our amazing studio, Lisa A. Thomas. Great morning.
Hey, great morning. Thank you so much, Amanda Sapp. It's amazing to be here with you and allow me to tell my story. Just a snippet. 241 Runners, again, just like you stated, was birthed out of pain of my son Israel, who was a runaway. Israel was a runaway, and we called them runaways runners. So when runners in the mental health industry will say, "Oh, we have a runner," so therefore that's where the 241 runners come from. Israel was hit by a vehicle, and he was hit at 2:41 a.m. in the morning on the highway, legally blind with some mental health challenges. Now, this is what happens. I didn't know my son was deceased. I thought he was missing. This happened March 9th, 2024. I found out September 3rd, 2024, 6 months
Wait, let
later.
me do the math.
Yeah,
Let me just
yeah,
think. Let me
yeah.
think. Because
That's
it's
six
early in the
months.
morning.
6 months later. So what happened is that when you have, I'm an adoptive parent. He was my adoptive son. So when you're adopted, the biological parents, we don't have any DNA. So my son went as an unidentified individual man. He's 23 years old. So he was unidentified. And for 6 months, I thought he was missing. We thought he was just missing all this time.
So how did you find out?
Well, I found out on my birthday, August 31st.
Mm.
Had a conversation. Happy birthday, Lisa. Oh, I'm sorry to hear about Israel. What do you
Who told you
mean?
that? Who
It
said
was
that to you?
one of my friends.
And how did they know
I
that?
didn't know. I don't know. I just started doing my research. And I was like, let me call the medical examiner. Let me just call, just doing what I normally do, doing my research. And I found out it was true. So what I had to do, because he was identified and Hispanic young man, I'm an African American woman, mother. So therefore, being adopted, the ME told me, well, you can identify him because you can't give me any DNA,
Mm. But you
right?
didn't get any when you
I,
got.
I, I
Yeah.
couldn't get,
Mm.
ma'am, I can't give you any. So I began to describe everything I knew about him. everything. So therefore, that's how we got the actual. Um, he was confirmed, and he was identified. Now, even after he was in the morgue for 90 days, and then he goes to Harris County Burial Cemetery where they buried him. I didn't even know he was buried. We didn't know again. So you in a mindset of you don't know what's happening. And my son has been buried. First he's killed, then he's been buried alone, and he has a whole family. He has a whole village. He has 5 siblings. He has aunties, uncles, grandmothers. He has a whole family. So that's when the journey began. Every piece of the puzzle, everything that did not happen. You have databases out here, and they are available, but they did not work because they did not find me.
I question.
So therefore, the solution to all of this, and I have all the questions. I have all the answers. I don't have all the answers, but I know one thing. What we're going to do, 241 Runners Awareness, we are in the process of putting together a database that will work. First, as an adoptive parent, what you're going to do is get DNA from the biological parents before you adopt, right?
So that's not in place currently.
No, ma'am, that is not in place. If that would have been in place, they would have been able to contact me because the DNA would have connected to me as the adoptive mother. Although the bio parents were absent, still it would have been connected. Okay, Israel was adopted. I adopted him at 2 years old, so I had him 21 years. So he was adopted. This is where he is, and therefore they would have found me. The other part is this: he was not a criminal. The system has a place where if you're a criminal, you do a fingerprint, everything pops up. They would have been at my door if my son was a criminal. That's why this program has to happen. So what we're going to do is have fingerprints, footprints, photos. And what we're going to do is input this into a system where the medical examiners, the law enforcement, the adoptive agencies, foster care agencies are able to connect any person with any type of disabilities, any type of mental health challenges. They will be able to see that individual in this particular system. If anything happens, because we never know. My son mental health began to decline at the age of 20. So he wasn't always like this, like what we was experiencing.
So
yeah, it's
that's just
it's
one
not
part
in
of
place,
it.
ma'am. No, it's not in place. So that's why I have a mandate to make sure that another parent do not experience what I have experienced and still experiencing. So therefore, that's why I have to raise my voice, because it's not in place.
So what kind of support have you gotten?
Well, meaning I have the support from the Houston Police Department, the investigator, the person that was the police officer that was on site on the scene contacted me after I confirmed with the medical examiner. She took me to the place where my son was killed and allowed me to go through that experience, walk me through the whole process, explained everything to me. Also led me to the individual that hit him. So I've been able to make contact with this young man. He was only 22 years old. So I was able to help him to bring some closure as well. So you have to understand it's not just me as the parent that and my family that experiencing the trauma and the grief. You also have to consider what that person that hit him is going through, So therefore it was an accident. So my part is to make sure that he understands that it's really okay. And I had an opportunity to do that. So that's basically where we are right now.
When somebody hears this interview and
This is
what do you want them to get from this today?
what I want them to get is that you don't hear very much about people with mental health issues that run away. when you see a person on the freeway, or if you see a person on 1960 Highway 6, any of these freeways, and they're walking, and sometimes you may be like, why are they walking in the street? Be mindful that that may be a person that may be having some mental health challenges, may be going through some issues. So be very, very mindful of what may happen. Even especially if you see them at 2 and 3 in the morning that are in places that you don't think they're supposed to be in, places like such. Because they thought my son was homeless, and he was no way near homeless.
I'm thinking about the fingerprint part of what you want.
Yeah,
to
and I
informate.
want yes, that's one of the areas. The fingerprinting that would eliminate the guesswork out of who
Sure,
they are,
sure, I get that part.
right?
I'm also thinking to myself, let's say there's a foster parent listening right
Mhm.
now,
Yes, ma'am.
and she knows that or he knows that.
Yeah.
What would you encourage them to go do? They should go get fingerprints
Yes,
now,
ma'am.
right?
They can get fingerprints. They can make sure that it stays in the home,
Yeah.
right? And it also stays with the agency that you're with. Now, what I would take a step further and contact they can contact 241 runners, right? And also they would also contact the medical examiner's offices, the missing persons, the investigators. I mean, anyone in law enforcement. Hey, this is my individuals, my children, my child. Because most of the time, what we do in fostering are adopted parents. We do more than one, right? So I adopted 5. So I know that most of the time you're doing more than one individual. So you would get it. And then the B part is this, is that even when you do the fingerprinting or footprinting photos, what we're going to do is, and even in the medical system as well. So what we're going to do is update it every, you know how you get shots.
Yes.
So they would update the system, update your records, update the picture. Because the investigator called me, Lisa, ma'am, can I get some pictures? Sure. Because the picture that they listed, that didn't look like my son. So it really, and when we continue to converse, she stated that thank you so much. Because most of the time when I call agencies or foster homes or adoptive homes, they don't have updated pictures. So be sure and take pictures. We take pictures all the time. Take pictures that is updated, that you have good, clear photos often. So therefore, if it's needed, then you can have it. It's not a problem. So that's what really helped.
Are there any other tips you want to give to foster parents right now?
Foster parents, adoptive parents, make sure that even if you change agencies, that information go to the agency that you're currently with. Don't take it away, because most of the time some of the parents may say, I want all my information back, depending on what they're experiencing. And leave the information there, because what they're going to do at every agency that you've gone through, every hospital, every doctor's visit, that information will follow that individual. So make sure that you communicate, just like you're doing, like I said, shot records. Make sure that you have, is my fingerprints in place? Do you have an updated photo? That is priority now. That is top priority. That's what I would tell the parents.
Lisa Thomas, I really appreciate you sharing your story with us today. And I'm very sorry to hear about what happened with your
I
son.
appreciate that, man. Thank you for the opportunity to come on your show and be able to share. This is just the beginning, to be able to share what the experience has been and what we're about to do in changing lives in the world.
Love it. Lisa Thomas with 241 Runners Awareness Lips. We have to wrap this interview up.
That's good. That's fine.
We'd like to leave fans, followers, listeners, and supporters with something inspiring, something empowering, something they can take with them the rest of the day, the rest of the week, and all the way up to the weekend. What do you want to leave us with today?
just stay encouraged out there, and it's a lot to be done. If you all want any information, you can reach out to 241runners.org. We also on Facebook, Instagram. We also having an event coming up. The red carpet event is November 16th, 2024. Holiday Inn on Airtex. If you want information on that, it's a red carpet gala designed for the special needs population, and we will launch the program as well. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much for being our guest here today.
Thank
We
you
really
so much for
appreciate
having
you.
me, ma'am.
Hey guys, look, I want to remind you that you can download our free KMAZ app. You can also find us at www.amazing1025fm.org. I'm going to leave you with the same thing I always leave you with. Be the change you want to see. And if not you, who? If not now, when? This is the Amanda Sapp Morning Show on Amazing 102.5 FM. Your do good through good station where we're changing lives one listener at a time. Until next time, we're out.